Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Let's get this going. Turn that off. Are we starting here? Yes. Hey everybody. All right, just pulled in the tracks from Discord. Got a little bit of audio playing that we're going to run through a quick demo on Shifter. I just saw this Ableton training video on their site about the Shifter plugin. I had no idea how cool it was. I knew it did a bunch of stuff, but what it can actually do is so cool. So I want to show you a couple things on that. And I have grabbed all the Discord tracks. So we're going to run through a quick tutorial while we're waiting for people to come in. Hey, Sheppers. Hey, Tenka. What you got right here is a basic drone MIDI chord, okay? Just playing two sounds coming from an instrument. That's the basic sound. So let's just minimize those. Now I'm going to turn on the shifter rack. The first thing I did is I put in a fine pitch automation envelope, which looks like this. Because I know we have some people who are into pitch shifting cymbals or melodies or bass lines or something, and it's really fun. Watch what this does and just listen to it. You can see the fine pitch knob just getting automated. We're in pitch mode, and it does that sound periodically. So that's one thing you can do. Now, I made a bunch of presets. So I'm going to go back to the original chord thing. This one is called Reset, where I got back to the basic sound. Let's go through, what if we want to double the octave? You could record new MIDI notes and pitch the MIDI notes up an octave and actually play more sounds from the instrument. Or you can do a coarse pitch shift. You could automate that. You have no sound. Shit, thank you for telling me that. What the fuck? No. Jesper, I'm not sure what's happening. I got sound coming out of my monitor laptop. So, oh. I got you. You were hearing me talk and you were not hearing the audio, right? My bad. Dumbass Steve, I had it set to my, never mind. Dude, thank you for telling me that. And take that off, master. I messed up my own routing on my own mixing board. All right, starting over, everybody. Now we got Melvis and DJ Waters in here. What's going on? All right, so to start off, reset. Here's the basic sound of chords, playing two MIDI notes and coming through the instrument. Rack off, that's just the basic sound. Next thing, I automated a pitch bend that you'll see happening on this. There we go. If you want to just do some little pitch bend tweaks on your sound, you can automate the pitch bend and play with that. Now let me do, ripping through the demo again. Octave up. When it's 100% wet, you can hear that the coarse pitch shift just takes whatever sound is coming in and pitches it. So to make like a doubler, let's pitch it up 12 steps, which is an octave, and then change the dry wet blend so we get a doubled sound. Just a little bit, 20%. Let's hear how that sounds with a beat. There's a couple scenes of drums and stuff. There's my chord sound. And to ramp in the octave doubler, just 20 or 30%, and it's coming through. And with presets in the macro knobs, I can go the other way, pitch it down an octave. Now, if we go to another mode, switching on the stereo wide option, you can use a fine-tuned pitch spread to get this stereo kind of a feel. Like a little bit of a flanger. You hear that? There's normal. There's a little bit of flangey bits. And there's a delay, which can get super cool. Yeah, Ian, I think you're going to have fun with this in some of your sounds. Now we're combining stereo width, which is a fine pitch detuning spread, and some delay. Let's hear that with the beat. And just for an A-B demonstration here, there's the original sound. With a little dry wet blend. How about some LFO? Now this is gonna start distorting the pitch and taking it out of your harmonic area. But if you're doing something on drums or a drone sound or a riser or something that's not pitch centered, you could have a lot of fun with this. All kinds of fun sound design. And now what I did was doing a little bit of pitch with some delay to do like a high pitch metallic brightness on there. To make I don't know, weird effect. If you like that kind of sound, could be fun. Shifter is always a nice tool to spice up your sound, right? Yeah, Ian, this is in Live 11. I'm not sure if it's available, if it's required to have Suite version or what. I think I like it pitched down a bit. Shepard's best results in most extreme settings. So let me save that. You know what I'm going to do is work on the shifter rack and make a couple of really handy presets, turn that into a little lesson, and make possibly a little download that people could get to get the rack, get some settings built in, and a little bit of a mini training thing on how to use it in your music. And now I didn't set up the screen yet because we get this talking to yourself. And I want to be on that screen over here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Track Feedback. Thanks for hanging out. I am really enjoying teaching tutorials on video with live audiences. I haven't been doing that for a while. I used to do it a lot. So we could look forward to more of those coming up soon with something like these shifter demos and also things about how I apply these techniques in production for tracks with laying out the song form, making the sections for build-ups, peaks, and drops, and mixing, of course. And then leading into some of my courses at courses.mixtexture.com, not that window, where you can get your hands on some hands-on lessons, which are really fun. Basically means you download an Ableton project, open it up, and you get activities, examples, and instructions inside Live in session view. So you can play through the lesson, hear me tell you stuff in recorded audio, and then play with actual sounds and tweak macro knobs inside the project to learn by doing it, which is the best way to learn. It gets stuck in your head. That's how you learn. I recommend the basic mixing course, and sidechaining is pretty relevant to what we're talking about today. So let's get in and get started. Who is here? Is Ben Hunt. Good. I got your track up first. Ben has been dubbing it on down. Hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Let's see what we got. EQ's back to flat. Here we go. That's funny. I started with my voice playing and I thought it was all good, then the audio was off. Duh. Turn my phone off. Good drum fills. And I like the bass line groove. I was listening to this before when I was setting up. I like how the bass line is nice and clear together with the kick drum. It's easy with dub music to go into sub bass and have it get kind of lost on underneath. But That's nice and bright and like there's body in the bass. Kick drum feels good too. That was perfect. Cut the kick drum, do a little transition sound, bring it into another place. Really good timing on that. I like that new synth that came in there. Like bow, 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 bow. Almost sounds like I could totally hear a vocal on top of this too. There we go. That note is good. That note's. The second note she's singing feels like she's singing, the notes are kind of related to the scale, but they're not like harmonically at the center. Ian, this is Ben Hunt. And the vocal could be a little louder. It's kind of soft and like washed out in the middle of the track. If it could be a little bit louder, and I'm not sure what the source of the vocal is. I feel like it needs to be transposed up for some reason. Mainly I like the heavy solid beat. $112 solid. This is great right here, bass and drums. Got the conga loop in there. You know, the effects are good. At this part, it feels like the reverb could, if you could dry up the reverb a little bit with maybe like, feels like it's a little bit too wet on the, maybe start by just taking the snare drum reverb down a bit in the mix. Because throughout the whole track, the reverb feels like really washy. Yeah, the vocals are the biggest thing that's like, feels like, oh, that's a mistake. Like, but the first note that she comes in on, okay, so she's centering on the C. Bum, bum. That's a C. Now, what note are we getting on the bass line? Looks like the bass line's on G. Like it's in G minor, and then she's singing a note that's a melody of C. And the second note is a B. Oh, I think she's singing. I think the track is in G minor, which has a B flat, and I think she's singing a B natural, which clashes. I think everything should be in C minor. Okay, so I read the bass line wrong. So, well, if it's in C minor and she's singing the note B, that's also supposed to be a B flat in C minor. It would help if you could tell us for sure, like, the key signature of the track, the chords. So, like, the notes the bass line is playing, the chords that the chord part is playing, and then the melody should be kind of, you can go across scale tones and, like, sing outside of the scale if it resolves in the right way. But the word care, when she says the word care, that felt like, oh, that's... Yeah, something about the vocal is not, it's coming in and not landing back on, like, the harmonic center. But I like the way the voice is in there. It feels like the right person for the track, if that makes sense. And she has a kind of a soft tone that's in the layers. I wanted to hear it louder at first to identify the pitches and everything and get that centered in there. Yeah. And I'd be curious to work on that. Can you post in Discord, like, a little bit about the music theory, key signature scale, which chords are actually playing, and if you could track the notes of the melody or put up the vocal by itself? I wonder if, like, you could chop the actual words apart and have each word on a different pitch or something. Other than that, dude, for version 1, this is really playable and sounds pretty close to being done. I mean, the low end is awesome, mid-range mix, the instruments, the beats are solid, nothing got boring all the way through. You had those transitions and drops where the kick came out and then a new sound entered in when it came back in. So the form was all cool. Around here, I'm noticing the effects are a little wet. There's a stereo delay going on and a big wet reverb. And you know what might be fun is try this for some development. Take all your percussion, like cut all the reverbs out, right? First, just have one drum reverb for your basic snare drum and conga and like percussion, so the drums are in a space. Then get a really big second reverb and a second delay. So you have 3 returns, right? Drum reverb, and then a huge reverb and a delay. And use those other 2 delays as special climax moments. So when you get to a part of the track before, like a transition, you put the snare up into the huge reverb and delay and get like that whoosh, 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 whoosh. And the point is, you don't have the really big reverb and the big delay in all the time. They're like separate spices that you just kind of put a splash on sometimes. And you could put like that melody sound up into the delay, or the vocal absolutely, you take the aux send and just turn it up into the delay at certain moments so the voice echoes on top, and then we don't get washed out with like tons of effects all the time. So the dub technique becomes like a process of using effects as a performance tool rather than a static effect that's built into the mix that just stays put the whole entire time. That would be cool. All right, Mr. Melvis had to wait until the very end last time, so we're playing this track right now, version 4A. Let's see what we got. Hey, Randy's here, what's up? Mr. Melvis, cool, man. Reaching out in a new direction, I dig it. I like this little breakbeat feel. It has like a Prodigy kind of feel, like. Got the ear candy in there. Snare drum, good. Needs to get louder, yep. That was cool. The snare drum rush, the cymbal riser, and then the beat drop. I feel like the kick drum could be a bit louder relative to the bass line, so it's really like doof, doof, doof. The drum mix is pretty good. Some of that low-mid energy down here. Okay, let me just roll back. That kind of feeling of like wah, 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 wah. That heavy part of the sweep. From like 300 to 600 felt kind of boxy and like nasal for a synth. So that sound stuck out as being like too bassy for the part it was functioning in the track, you know? Right here, the kick sounds good. And then when the bass line comes in, the kick is not so clear. Let's just go back here. I'm gonna crank this up. That is a nice kick drum. It's like doof, doof. It has a dive at the end. Which means the bass line, when the bass line comes in, the bass line is conflicting with this big, beautiful kick drum. And that bass line's popping up 110. I guess you're playing A. So what I would do with the bass line is EQ the bottom under 100 hertz and scoop that down so that the kick drum still feels like a big single thing. And then the bass line can be bubbling doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo on top. Which should be a pretty easy fix, actually. There's a stereo wide synth that I like a lot. That. Right there, yeah, let's get that one more time. That's great, man. The synth layers are cool. The cymbal reverse effects are cool. At this point, I think the fast percussion could use some variation, like, you know, muting one of the layers, pulling one a little bit louder, so it's not the same exact percussion part on such a long loop. There's a rattly like ticka ticka, there's a cymbal, there's a snare. Okay, Shepard's good point. The lead is too good to be overpowered by the clap. So the clap could come down. This part is interesting. It has a real chugga chugga. I like the fast bass line rhythm a lot. Unfortunately, that'll work together. When you cut the low end out of the bass line a little bit, maybe go up to like 800 or 900 or something and boost a little bit of the bass to get more of the fast rhythm coming through. That'll really get the rhythm going like digga 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 digga. I noticed a big development in the synth and the sound effects. All that stuff, shwa, shwa, shwa. And right here, this is great. Like, this is how I want it to feel for the kick part. And then the bass line still like diggy, 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 diggy. Nice delay. Sweet. Hey, that's pretty damn good for shifting from what you usually play into electronic loops and beats and stuff. Not bad. So my main thing is the bass line sound, to get the kick drum to sound as clear as it sounds when the kick is soloed, and have the bass line together with that, with the diggy 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 diggy. Other main thing is variation in the drums. So let's just scan through minute by minute. So that's just kick and snare, right? This part here, okay, there's a hi-hat. Now right here where that ride cymbal came in, I think is too soon. because there's a really cool breakbeat pattern that could be much more like emotionally impacting without the cymbal. Like, don't throw away the breakbeat by having a ride on top too soon. If you could separate those and go like kick snare first, and then kick snare breakbeat hi-hat, and then save the ride for like later on, it would have more impact. That's a transition that was cool. That drop felt a little... The way the bass line comes in takes away the power of the kick. After that little transition, instead of the drop feeling like poof, poof, it feels like whoa, whoop, where the bass line comes in and swallows the low end clarity. So that'll be really good to get the bass line touched up a bit. And throughout this whole section, the top loops aren't really changing that much. So if you could tell us right now, like, how many layers of drum loops are there in here? Because so far I heard kick drum, snare drum, one separate hi-hat, and then this fast loop with a lot of stuff going on, right? So if this part is all one loop, then I can see how it would be hard to, it would not possible to mute the cymbal and still have the other fast stuff. So that is a loop. We'll try to convert to MIDI. Yeah. The breakbeat is super cool. But keep that loop together as one thing. What I would do, instead of trying to sweat and like micro chop that thing to get parts without the cymbal, just play around, like look for some other loops of breakbeats that don't have that cymbal in there, and add, like do a bunch of percussion sound design, add a whole bunch of loops, like make a group track with like 8 audio loops in there, and then play the basic beat, get the whole thing going, and try different, like audition different loops together with your kick and your snare to get a pattern where the bass line's going fast and the break loop, the new break loop, is accentuating the feel with something that has like that shaker kind of clap sound. And maybe consider that one as like the first part that comes in that's like the main anchor of the break. Then when you drop this ending one with the cymbals and everything, it'll get all nice and thickened up and be like the climax section with the main thing where the cymbal comes in. Basically, that's what I would do. In other words, if it's not working right, don't try to change the part that's here that's too early. Just totally mute it out of that whole section. Put something else in there that'll function like a cool breakbeat, and use the cymbal crash one that's like over there. Maybe after this little transition, 1, 2, 3, here, at 247, then come in with the ride cymbal. Because usually that electronic ride is like a peak energy part of the track where it's really bringing in that new thing, which will give you variation after the halfway point. So the opening part can be just like solid beats and tweak the synths for fun. After 245, new cymbals come in for variation to take you through to the end of the track without getting bored. Then you strip it back down, which is great. The bass and beat strip down right here, and take it out to the ending. Gong, 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 gong. And then you just got to crank it up to like 200 BPM and play it with DJ Waters. Oh shit, who's that in the next track? All right, here we go. Time after time. I'll do the lyrics. Down, no. Already.
Excuse me, mate, you got time? Excuse me, mate, you got time?
Ah. Is it going to get louder?
Excuse me, mate, you got time?
I'm pushing it up.
Tickling clocks.
Time's up. There we go. Oh shit. I thought that was coming. Okay, this is a version 1 rough layout of a new track, right? You were talking about the tails on these kicks.
Excuse me, mate, you got time?
Now the vocal sounds right with this kick drum layer. I can see how you mixed the sounds around here. At the earlier part. Nice. Okay, at this earlier part, this whole layer here, that boom, boom, boom. I think that should be louder because the next part is so much louder. Most people are gonna think that's the main drop and turn it up, and then the other one is gonna blast it, right? And that's not too loud, that sounds good. That just doesn't sound loud enough.
Excuse me, mate, you got time? Time is
Good build.
The time has come.
That's a good sound. The time has come. That's great. Bassline rhythm with the clock ticking. I'm not sure what clock that is going that speed. All right, going up.
time is
All right, one note here. This riser can be louder. Right there. Jack up that riser louder. Down. Aha, good sound. And you know what? To be clinical on this, the tails on the kick drum are like at a pitch that's a few steps above the bass line sound. So we got this chord progression on the bass line. And the main kick drum comes in like a fourth higher.
time is
That's where the bass line's anchoring. Let's say F. And I think the buzz kick is going to come in like B flat maybe?
time is
B flat. So I don't know if you're interested. I'm curious how this would sound if you took the tails of this buzz kick drum and pitched them down from B flat down to F. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps down to get the main buzz kick to feel like it's amplifying the same note that the bass line was playing. Now, I don't know if you give a shit about that. You might totally not care, which is fine, because this sounds good, but it might be cool.
excuse me, mate, you got time?
Ooh, this synth layer is cool.
Excuse me, mate, you got time?
What is that little synth layer that came in right here? There's a really fast, like a sample and hold synth lead
Excuse me,
coming
mate,
in.
you got time?
So bring up that synth lead.
12. Excuse me, mate, you got time?
That sample's a little too often. Excuse me, mate, you got the time?
Excuse me, mate, you got time?
There's the madness.
Time is
I like that sped up loop.
excuse me, mate, you got time?
Cool, man. Not bad for a version 1 quick sketch. It's really good. Time's up. Time's up. Mainly, so you got your work cut out for you.
Excuse me, mate, you got time?
That kick drum louder, and you got the rest. So let me grab. I think Randy sent a link. Do 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 do. Move my little windows. There we go, Randy. Pew, pew, pew. We doing the Enzo track? 17 minutes ago. Yeah. All right, cool. And who else is here? Tim Laws, John Madison, AFL. Jens is here, right? And Waters and Sheppers. Matt Schultz. I want to pull Sheppers up because he was in here like first. And then we'll see who else is here. So, okay, Randy's in. Let's do Sheppers and then Randy. Because I think this might be a little bit buzzy. Then we'll get down to the house style, tech style. EQ back to flat. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy Saturday. And this is Balam version 2. Kind of minor updates, I think, on this one. Let me check the changelog. Yeah, the kick drum sounds good. Whatever you did to it sounds good in this one. I think we played 2 of your tracks last week, and one of them sounded different from the other one. Yeah, good lead, good lead. This one sounds done. I'm not getting any notes. Good pitch. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Really happy with that low end and the buzz. And it looks like a pretty smooth frequency curve. All the ranges have something going on. Yeah, man, version 2, I think it's done. Like maybe a little bit on the highs here. You know. And Mr. Melva, see that? That's where the ride cymbal comes in halfway through or after for a fresh layer on top. Yeah, I always say high frequency on the hi-hats, you know, maybe because SoundCloud or whatever. But I think this one is, ooh, a flanger? Good to go, right? Let me play with the mid-range in a minute. Boost and sweep. I don't know, I like all the buzz. I was looking to see if there was some low mid buzz down here. Like that boxy 600, 500 hertz thing. But actually in this style, all that stuff I was just boosting down there kind of still sounds good. So maybe the mastering, you know, do some reference mixes and mastering to make sure your lows and your low mids are balanced, and then your high frequency is just crisp enough compared to the other tracks. And I think this one is good. There's variation, layers coming in and out. It's grinding and buzzy, but it's not like it doesn't hurt your perception. And cool sounds. Little transition moments. This hi-hat could be a little louder. Maybe if you want. Yeah, that little hi-hat could be louder, that small one. About 5 minutes almost. I'm totally still in it, just like, yeah. Randy, primetime track. Heavy, right? Right here. And the Shepherd's ending with the reverb. Nicely done, man. Nicely done. I wish I had better tips for you today, but I don't think it needs very much. I would pick up a little bit of that last hi-hat. The one that feels like a small hi-hat. Is that there? This one. It has a nice swing to it. And it could be a little bit, you know, a little bit more out front in the mix, but that's like a tiny detail. So maybe one more revision and that's ready for mastering. Now, Randy Adams coming through on some deep house. This is new, right? We didn't hear this last week. Ooh. Where are we going with this? I like that low end. Boop, 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 boop. There comes the kick. Oh. That came in backwards, right? Huh. Oh my God. This is like sound system bass. And I love that sound in the middle. Yeah. That was a really cool touch. I'm going back to this right here. I like it when people make a build-up using the sound in a track where the sound morphs and becomes a build-up. You don't even notice till it's happening, like, what? And then it filters back down. That was a really nice ramp back to simplicity. Okay, that hand percussion needs to be louder. Like the slap on the conga, it could be brighter and louder. I think that melody could be louder too. It's subtle and it's nice that it's in the background. It's kind of around us. But just to make sure it's not getting buried in all that low, like whoa, whoa. That was so cool. I gotta rewind. I did not expect this little melody to turn into such a cool sound. It gets lower and louder. Yeah, definitely the conga needs to be louder here. The slap on the conga? Yeah, louder. I like how Randy's tracks are always kind of abstract and spacey, but the bottom end like grabs you too. Now this keyboard part sounds like a new track or like a whole new thing. Oh, John Madison, you're here. Good. This part could use a high melody part too, like that violin string thing. Ooh. Good timing, good break, good arrangement. All the events are happening at the right pace. Okay, this keyboard part, I think that came in too soon because here, we just got a new voice right here. We had that cool synth that morphed. Now the voice came in. And right there at 251 is too soon for that keyboard part. I would definitely leave the keyboard for the later part and continue playing with the this little melody thing and the voice. Okay. This part is so cool. And now when this voice comes in, the main synth that went from like the high part and then it morphed to be like a full-bodied synth where it got deeper and louder and everything, you could just do that whole cycle again with the voice for this part, and that would be enough for there. And don't bring in the new keyboard yet. And there's the new hi-hats, right? So the new vocal and the new hi-hat part right here is enough to keep it interesting all the way out to here. And then over here at like 320, start introducing the new keyboard part. So that when we get to here, now we're in that other keyboard thing. And it's like, oh cool, the track went to a new place, it's fresh and interesting, but it's not fighting with the original synth because the first synth is gone. I think that's important right here, that we just have one cool synth. And it doesn't feel rushed. When that new synth came in at like 250, I just felt like it was too soon and the other stuff was still really cool. I just didn't need a new sound on top yet. And all these sounds fit together nicely. The vocal, the keyboard part, the beats. And the overall bottom is just boom, 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 boom. It's great. Yeah. Oh, I like this. It's super simple and just deep. Solid grooves, Randy. One edit in this track and it's perfect. Yeah, exactly, right here. Yeah. Ready for you. ready for you. Yeah, man. Just this keyboard. Oh. Go back here to 250 and just take that keyboard out from 250. Don't bring it until the breakdown and everything. And then it's going to be good. Now the sub bass and the kick drum part, I want to play from the beginning. Take my bass shelf EQ, my low shelf EQ down a little bit and see how it sounds with the rest of the track pushed up a little bit louder in this beginning part. So here we are, taking the low end down. Okay, cut the bass shelf noticeably. And let's raise the level up. Just to feel like the mid-range is a bit louder. Let's check this part again. Great sound design right here. Yeah, and here's back to EQ flat. So overall the mix, the low end stuff is a little bit too big compared to the rest of the track. It feels good and it sounds good, but it's easy to put that up so much that you lose the details and the essence of the synths. So maybe just take the low end elements down like 6 dB or something. It'll let the whole track breathe better in the mid range, and you're not going to lose any punch or power on the bottom. It'll still be there. So that's my notes on that one. Super cool vibes, and it also really fits together with like the Randy Adams style, so I can see how you've got a group of tracks coming together that'll make a nice set. So AFL Hermitude. This is for a remix competition, right? EQ's flat. Let's see what we got. Whoa, pitch shift. That's me pushing up the broadcast level. The vocals sound good on top. Vocals need to be de-essed or EQ'd up around the sounds of like the and single. Ch 3.8 kilohertz. Look at you with the sub bass and kick drum. Yeah, so the vocal needs a little bit of like friendliness at the high highs to take down the shrill. I like how the kick drum and the sub feel together a lot. Yes, my EQ is flat. Shepherds, do you want more kick drum? All right, going up. That's interesting. You're tracking the bass line and the vocals like on the exact same sound. So John, what did you do? How much of the original is in here? Is it only the vocal? Or is it other things from the stems? Okay, Shepherds, I'm gonna kick up the bass for you. That's bass boost. And low end flat. And that's a lot of boost. Yeah, so John, the low end, the whole low end could come up a bit. In the mix, I would start by turning the kick drum up. I would start by turning the kick drum up louder first, because the sub bass is nice and big. And then together with mastering, the low end will be in the right place. Yeah, the highs in the vocal is in the way of a lot of the clearing. Shepherds playing tricks with your ears. The vocal it's good that the vocal is loud and upfront. The frequencies of the vocal, there's other stuff going on in the mix that get masked a bit by the vocal part. That synth, right there. Yeah, the high frequencies in the vocal, like just. Right there, like from 3,000 to 5,000, the vocals can feel really shrill, and it doesn't sound like an S always. Like some of the notes that are consonants or vowels, I mean, still have like that a bit. And that can make your ears kind of clamp down and not hear the other parts of the synths and stuff. So paradoxically, when you take some of the highs down from the voice, it feels more clear, weirdly enough. That synth, the buzzy part right here, that's a really cool synth, and the vocal is kind of covering it up. I would like to hear that synth more clearly somehow. I wonder if you could get like really high frequencies on that buzzy part of the synth and have them in stereo. And then the voice could be like in the mid-range in the middle. It's a really mid-rangey voice. It doesn't go up to like air and breath and all this stuff. It's like percussion's feeling good. The clap is in the right place. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I mean, work on the vocal a bit, bring it back for another mix, and see how it flows. And I'm gonna kind of skip through the ending because we got. Wait, didn't you have another one? Yeah, let's do both of yours so you get your feedback at the same time. VBS revision, EQ flat. So mostly just the vocal. Does that mean you mostly only use the vocal from the original? In other words, how much of that did you create and how many stems were from the original track? Because I don't know the original. Here we go. That portamento bass, yeah. Did you take some of the lows out of that one growl sound? I think you did. We were talking about that last week. Bassline is super cool. That slide. Woo! The kick drum feels soft in a way. It's like buh, buh. All right, Mr. Melvis, thanks for stopping in. Good track today. See you next time. It's one of those really deep kick drums. It's like big and powerful, but like low in the background. Whatever is doing that hump under 20 hertz in your synth group, this buzzy one, put a high pass filter up to at least 70 or something, so like a gentle slope filter, just so none of that really subby bass rumble is coming through. And I think the kick drum could use like a drum bus or compression and boosting to get it just louder and have like a slow attack time and compress it with a pretty low threshold, so the front of it has like an impact. It's like put, because it feels like boom, boom, like a very soft, powerful but soft and deep, and not as much like tight and hard for like a The vibe is great. It's a nice track. Last week we had Dreamy Week, right? It was all these synths, like dreamy tracks. Yeah, 118. It's perfect tempo for this vibe of music. Loving these notes. Good. I'm glad this is sounding helpful because I'm just sort of telling you what I would do with the track. That snare drum rattle is super cool. Actually, the drum mix could use a little bit of drum reverb. A fast reverb that when you put it up to like 25%, it just makes the drums feel a little bit louder actually. Not like a washy, wispy cavern type thing, but just like a room reverb on the drums. Oh, no. Okay. I'm putting some reverb on the board right here. That's dry. And now that was exaggerated because I just did reverb on the whole mix. But if you have like a tight room reverb on the stereo drum mix, so get all your drums into a stereo group, put the reverb on that group at like 10%, 12% wet or something. And it'll add a nice level to the drums and a little bit of space on them, so you don't have to turn the drums up because they're at the right volume in the mix, but the reverb space. And I said, no, because 3 minutes is not enough of this track. We could totally go 5 minutes on this. I like how it came down here. Some synths. This is a nice deep section that could go like total like 16 bars just to be in the vibe. And then after this, have like a whole outro with some synths and some beats, strip it down to only synths. So make an ending, basically. Keep this atmospheric part in here. Keep this loop going. Take it down to just kick drum and snare drum and one hi-hat in the synths for like 8 bars. And then take out the hi-hat and the clap and just have the ambient synths and the kick drum for another 8 bars or something. And give us like another minute of music, because stopping that one short of 4 minutes is not going to cut it. Which means we like it. We're not ready for it to stop. It needs more space. Cool. Nice work. Give him some claps. Claps from DJ Waters. He takes them out of his music and gives them to other people. Dude, your memes, DJ Waters, are freaking psychotic. Sometimes I'm like, I see a post from DJ Waters and I'm like, I don't know if I should look at this. That's funny. All right, Tim Laws is not here right at the moment. We got Jens and some more Waters and Matt Schultz and Tenka and no. So let's make a little playlist. And Jesper, yes, I see you typing in all caps with your track. Don't worry, we're going to play it. All right, Envelope Flower. This is a new one, I think, right? From Jens. The Blippy sound design world. Get to hear my nose, sorry. Oh, this is cool. I live in dreamland, ha ha ha. I like the synth part. It's a nice, like, get stuck in your head kind of blip. Okay, right here the hi-hats need to be coming in a lot louder with that really like to have that high frequency thing that takes the beats up. I can hear there's a ticky like, but I would like that crisp, you know? Those are the ones. And that breath thing is like, it's pretty loud, so that makes the hi-hats feel too quiet, you know? Okay. Yeah, that one sound is too loud. I like the bass line. A new direction. Ready for a change right here? Ah, didn't get it. Okay. All right, new sound. So that last section back here, before we keep going, this new bass synth, can you get a filter moving through that somehow so it has some variation over time? Because this whole section, it's clean and the mix sounds good, but like nothing's happening with that sound. I think that one bass sound it's such a buzzy sound. There's a lot of space. You could filter it. You could do a notch filter that's moving, or maybe play with a state variable filter where it morphs from high pass to notch to low pass and makes this like really weird sound. Okay. Oh, Shepherd's. All right. See you later, man. Hope you're feeling better soon. Nice synth layers. that's a great break. That totally got my attention. I was like, what just happened? Good sound design. So now we're back to like the opening theme. Envelope Follower is definitely on the blippy electronica world, which I think is cool. All about the sounds happening and that dive bomb. Good shit. So this is a 9-minute track. I'm going to skip a bit. That's a good hi-hat layer right there. That's what I'm talking about. Very bright and crisp on top. Not like it hurts your ears, but just clear, you know? Yeah. Is that the same bass sound? Yeah, that one. Okay, good. So when we hear that bass sound again, get some filters moving through that so that the bass sound over 8 bars changes from one place to another, you know, in the frequency range. Or the filter position changes from one place to another. That would help. All these sounds are awesome. Really cool electronic sound design. Worlds of sound. That's cool. A couple of mixed notes, and that's going to be ready to put out. I don't think it needs to be shorter, actually. Like, people who are into this kind of music, you could just get into it and keep listening to it for a long time. It is very blippy and bleepy, so make sure you have filters moving during sections where nothing else is happening, because you don't want it to be too repetitive. Or cut out 45 seconds if you don't have a filter moving or something. Yep, filter noted. One that new hi-hat thing a bit louder, and whatever else I said on other... That one, what was that sound? Ooh, that one. Right there. That one. That one. A little bit too loud. Okay. It is now time. Jasper, I hope you read the note I wrote you in Discord. That was for you. Let's check out the unfinished Morgue. Techno-ish. Is that tech-noise? Techno-ish. Cool. Oh, if you love. Another 9-minute track. Okay. Jens, you're welcome. Yeah, the vocal sound. That's what I was talking about. That thing. Good intro so far. Good drum mix so far. Good ear candy. Oh, nice and heavy. This sounds great. Very deep. I would put this closer to trance than techno myself. Not that that really matters, but for the vibe, right? I like those rhythmic breaks. Yeah, good tension.
Discovery, Houston, 20 seconds to LOS.
I got the NASA space sounds in there. Oh, you're hearing some clicks? Okay, I'm not sure what your original has. I mean, it sounds pretty good. I don't think it's a corrupted data file. Okay, the bottom end is working, and I can feel the kick drum is nice and big, and the bass line is deep around it, and they're not clashing with each other. So that's really good. There's a kind of scratchy atmospheric sound. I'm wondering if that's gonna stop. 'Cause I think it's been in for a long time. Good, that sound just stopped. That on top. Now it feels like we have more space. That's a good kick drum roll. DJ Waters, I don't know. We're missing Pivclit. Martin Mindbender, I think he had a gig. Max and Matt Schultz are missing. I don't know.
To infinity and beyond!
Good vocals. And back in the drop. All right. I'm going to skip forward because we've been... Oh, are you doing the tempo shifting? Okay. All right, are we going to triplets? Down to 98. That's cool. That's how you make a longer track and keep it totally interesting. Let's see how we get back up. This one scratchy sound is in too much. It just stopped. It's that. Like that's kind of in there for too long in the track for me. And then we're back in. Okay. It sounds so much better when that top sound, this one, it's like too much of that sound. It's so much more refreshing when that sound stops. Everything else opens up and just feels like music I want to listen to. I don't know what it is about that sound. There's like... Seriously, that top sound that's like that synth drone that's kind of distorted for like minutes and minutes and minutes. I do not feel friendly when I hear that sound. It feels like stop. I don't know why. I guess it's the high frequency layer of this one synth part. As soon as it stops, the whole track sounds so much better to me. I really think it's better without a lot of that sound. The tempo change is cool. This part feels like crowded and like tension that I can't get rid of. Like that. And then finally that sound goes away and it feels like I can feel the bass line pulsing. Top synth. And there it is back. Okay. Well, there it is. I think you'll call the track Tinnitus. You can definitely call it that. That's cool. The tempo shift in the middle does make it feel like like at 6 minutes, I feel like we stopped and had the end, right? That felt like a stopping point, like an ending of the music, and then it comes back in. All right, cool. Let's keep moving on. Tim Laws, Swan Edition 2. Nice bottom end. Excellent. That new hi-hat, perfect. Coming in on the upbeat. I don't think you should remove that sound completely, but just don't have it in for like 5 minutes straight through without changing, you know? Oh, this is cool, Tim. That's a great structure. Nice 1 minute build in. And then we get dropped off to some atmospheric. Yeah. Nice and subtle and big. Damn, this feels like a record. This feels like a track you would buy, and it just goes through the phases. The synth is moving around. The drums are nice and simple. That's all you need, actually. This could use a clap. I wonder if we're gonna get one. Yeah, a good clap or a snare would totally take it up to the next. 225 right there. Really anchor it in that house vibe. Nice lead. Wow. Everything has its own place in the frequency ranges. And it has that simplicity of like just a few key ideas. Nice kick drum run and then a breakdown. Awesome. And the chord progression. things are changing. I'm not sure what's going to come out at the end of the breakdown, but it's doing what it needs to do to keep us going. Pitch shift. We're in space. Is this still the buildup? Okay. 435, thank you. I did not know what was going on there for a minute. Now the pitch shift makes sense. The bass line's back in, the beat's back in, like back home, right? So the breakdown's too long and it's a little too weird the way the beats came back in. Like the beats did not, and I hate to say it, but I would just make it more predictable. This part right here. Huh, ooh. That's cool. And this part was cool. I'll tell you where specifically it started to get weird. Because I'm still like, feeling that, right? The pitch shift was okay. That was fun. This, from like 355, rhythmically it started to get off and just didn't really settle back in. Then this whole thing where there's like the kick drum is in and there's a snare drum rush, it's mixed messages and it's not a drop and it's like, it's been too long since something came in. The way that snare drum goes from here is cool if the kick drum was gone. And then at 435, it's back in. So basically, I would, if you could not have all the rhythmic chaos getting back to here, because this part of the track is so deep and smooth. If I heard this playing, I would like totally trust this DJ. Like the mood of this track is like, you can get into it. It's gonna be a safe vibe to like be in your flow with this feel, right? And it's okay to have a long breakdown as long as emotionally that puts you back where you came from before. And then you'll just see smiles of like the beat comes back and everybody will be like, yes, back in it. Don't throw people out of the beat with crazy chaos of pitch and rhythm. You can tweak the pitch and drop it back to where we were, or you can have a little bit of rhythmic, like false drop or something, but that was like way too long of not knowing what to expect and being like, oh shit, you know? Not quite a train wreck, but the same feeling of like, what the fuck, you know? You don't want to do that to your dance floor. Perfect, high melody, like sparkly, vocals perfect. Bassline's cool. It has a happiness in the track too. Yeah. Definitely a totally playable track. Just get the build up. Kind of just cut out like 20 seconds or something from there. I think it was 355. Yeah, from like 353 to 420. Just put it like, you know, starting around here, put in that simple snare drum thing, lead back to a drop, and make that whole thing go a breakdown of like 30 seconds or something like that. Oh, we get the bass and drums. All right, good. And this is perfect right here, down to the simplicity. Cut out the melody and harmony and just have the depth. This is awesome. Yeah. Nice. Get that beat. There's almost a little bit of a garage feel in that beat. And a little bit to mix with. Cool, man. Ooh, what's happening? Little riser. Oh, well, the last little part, you should hit that riser effect with a reverb and just whoosh to let it go. Main thing is we got about, what is 55 minus 24? Like, there's about like 25 seconds that's just not helping in that middle section. And we want to get back to here. That's going to be pure happiness on that drop. Don't make people wait when they're expecting it, because it's not going to be cool. Yeah, DJ Waters. Yep. After the extreme long breakdown. Okay, cool. We know what to do. Push the button. DJ Waters, push the button. Coming over to the techno side. I just tapped a perfect 136 like 3 times in a row. Achievement unlocked. All right. Good mix so far. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Getting into that bass house dubstep growl kind of vibe in here, right? Nice, ooh, little rhythms. Chickadoo. That's good. Yeah, the vocal had a little bit too much on the push, the shh, push. This still feels like an introduction. I'm like waiting for something to happen. Like that opening synth that's still on, sort of makes it feel like this whole thing is an intro. What happens in this breakdown? Whatever that sub bass sound is, I don't quite get it yet. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but there was a whole big low frequency thing in there that was like dub-a-dup, dub-a-dup, dub-a-dup. I wonder if it could get a bass line of some kind. It's a good mix and cool sounds and the nice energy. Feels like it needs a bass line or something to arrive at as like the main body, because this still has this like intro feeling. That's a nice low bass sound. Wow. Okay, take this part with the melody and loop this and play around to get a bass line that's like a smooth, continuous bass line instead of just a bunch of dubstep type growls. And maybe the bass line could make like a continuity that's like, feels like it's, I don't know, like a chord progression. You know, like a harmonic progression with the bass notes. To just give some fullness in the whole low mid area and some like a theme, you know, like a bass line. So that you could cut that top synth out and have like the bassline melody thing. This track could use a bassline, honestly. And the opening sound, right? That's... And that sound is also completely not changing the whole time. That sound could play different notes when you have the melody part. These beats are really cool right here. I really like the percussion layers a lot. This has the strength, the skeleton rhythmically to be a super groovy track. And the sound effects, like that swampy. And yeah, and those are cool comments about chopping the vocal too. That's good. That one synth gets so repetitive that it's like stuck at intro level. So maybe just mute that synth for a little bit, mute the top synth, the top atmospheric pad, work with the all this cool percussion and melody and kick drum, and put a bass line in that part to tie the whole thing together and see what that turns into. So for version 1, that's awesome. It's an amazing mix for version 1 and good sound design and good sounds. That just needs some development. Matt Schultz, Deep Rest version 4, last one for today. 140, wow, damn, that's almost, no wonder I'm hungry. Yeah, build it a little bit at a time. This is cool, man. Your process is good. So you're going into a different tempo, new style. It has a vibe, which is the cool thing, is like it's most of a track. And that's totally fine to take a little while to build up the layers and see what's going to fit and sit in there together. Deep Rest, Matt Schultz version 4. I want to check the change log on this because I'm not sure what he did. So less reverb on the vocal, bunch of EQ. Last week, this already sounded playable and pretty done. So while we're waiting for the vocal to come in, don't forget about the Mixatexture member site, courses.mixatexture.com.
We are not prisoners. No snares and springs are laid for us, and there is nothing that should alarm or torment us.
That does sound good, that vocal. Oh, this is Rainier Marie Rilke?
Set in life, as in the element with which we are most in keeping. And we have, moreover, through thousands of years of adaptation, become so similar to this life that when we stay still, we are by a happy memory.
Matt, this sounds good.
To be distinguished from our surroundings.
Yeah, the reverb had too much high frequency in it, and it was like washing out the words last
We have
time.
no cause to be mistrustful of our world.
Much,
For it is not a case.
much easier to understand. It sounds more natural. Good vibes, good vibes. Oh, that's a nice sound. Matt, this is done. I'm gonna call it right now. No SoundCloud ads today. That's good. Yeah, Matt, beautiful vibes. Nice and peaceful. Everything hanging together. And for anybody who wants to get involved with the Track Feedback crew, what we're doing is playing tracks from the Discord server, where we do live streams twice a week. You put in your tracks, we talk about sound design, song structure, and the mix, and even mastering tips, and even how several tracks can group together to form a set at patreon.com/mixatexture, and that's $25 a month for the Track Feedback crew to get motivation and a deadline to export your mix and share it, even if you think it's not ready, especially if you think it's not ready. The most important thing you can do is share your music and get feedback on it in development so other people can help you understand what needs to change and how to get it done. Because a lot of times we can be really critical of ourselves without making positive progress. So don't fall into that loop. Yeah, Matt, I know I'm talking over your track because it's done. It sounds awesome. Ready for mastering. And in the background with the member site, I'm prepping some more live video projects to go along with these courses, so I can teach some of the stuff that I like to teach and show how I apply these techniques in my tracks, and then lead people through to where they can find the lessons on the topic they need, whether that's EQing, compression, sidechaining, structure with the 8-bar loop, many other topics in development. Mixing is all the basic umbrella topic. So that's what's coming up. All right, DJ Waters, you're welcome. Thank you. Say hi to your people. Saturday, 1:45. I got an outdoor event to go to today, a little sound system, some music, and some local DJs. So I'm excited about that. And as always, thank you so much for being part of Mixatexture, giving each other comments and feedback and being supportive and being creative and sharing sounds and everything. I'd love to hear the collaborations, the mixes that are coming out of this, the music and everything. It's just really cool. It pulls me forward too. Matt, I'm talking over your whole entire track. This sounds amazing. Like, this is ready to play in a set of dub techno. It's beautiful. I think it's done. Send it out to, I don't know, Insectorama or something. And if anybody has any questions, you can find me at steve@mixatexture.com or in the Facebook group, or join us on Discord, where you can find some effects racks and conversations about presets and sample packs and production tips and tricks and general talk and everything we talk about in producer land, except it's not on Facebook and there's no ads. It's only people doing music, and you can find genre-specific feedback if you join the Track Feedback crew, meaning you get a thread, you post your link, people comment on it, and it's getting comments related to the style you're making rather than just a bunch of random stuff like, sounds good, bro, like you get in some other groups. Really happy about that. So peaceful. All right. Have a beautiful, lovely Saturday and the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you back next time.